One of the things I'm going to be talking about this afternoon is the ambition to help build an Aberdeen on the Caspian, which we're talking to the Kazakh government about, and seeing how they can replicate the skills base which we've got here, which goes so far beyond just the oil and gas companies themselves, and how we can create a regional centre of excellence in the Caspian along the same lines as Aberdeen. Now that will be a great business opportunity for companies here to really export those skills and to take those to an area where they're going to be very much in demand for the years ahead. I think one of the things which has really struck the Kazakh government when they've come here is that the United Kingdom is declining as an oil and gas producer, and that's inevitably going to continue. But the companies and the expertise which they've got is continuing to grow. And so how do you create a real long-term lasting infrastructure, an industrial base, which can then prosper well after the resources are depleting? From my role as a UK government role, but I'm very keen that we work with the Scottish government as well, even though of course they have their own trade activities, but the more that people can see us working together, the better. That's always been one of my key principles. That we are taking trade missions on a regular basis to Kazakhstan, to Azerbaijan, to Turkmenistan, which is perhaps the least open so far of those markets. That it won't just be on oil and gas, it will be on other industrial sectors as well. We're very keen to know from companies which want to get in there. We've got a strong UK trade and investment body presence there. The ambassadors are very committed to developing those links, and so I hope my role is to open some doors and to help to see a real step change in the level of investment and activity. It's a challenging environment, but I think for most people the issue comes because it's unfamiliar, and that what we've now found within the Kazakh ministries and with the officials, and indeed right across the Caspian, is a real appetite to do more with British companies. That they're saying they want to do more on transparency, they want to do more to facilitate inward investment, and so I think we're trying to step up our game at a time when they're very keen to work with us in that process. The primary issue is that we're very different, and that they're a huge resource and it's got an enormous number of years ahead, and the UK is depleting. So we have to work harder to secure investment because the companies are often going to be looking to where the biggest resources are going to be available. But one thing which we can certainly learn from them is that they're very focused on how they keep as much as possible of their resources for export, because that brings the wealth into their countries. So that in Kazakhstan that they're developing renewable sources of electricity such as onshore wind. They're developing nuclear power. In other countries they're developing solar. And they're looking at how do they meet the domestic demand from renewable low carbon sources. So in a time when we expect global demand for gas in particular to be rising, then that they're able to meet that. Now, I think that's a very strong message to other countries, that if it's right for the world's biggest oil and gas producers to be looking at renewables and low carbon technologies, it has to be right for us as well.